Our session went really well, really impressed with the panelists. They did a great job for us, and we got some really good questions from the audience.
In the session, one of the most interesting questions that came up was really the perception of mobile security, and did it actually match real life? And the reality is we have a lot of companies that want to sell mobile security, and so they make a lot of noise about it being insecure. And we don't have, unfortunately, an opposing voice.
There was one that was about geolocation, if that was going to be important in terms of authentication. And that's a good question, because it points really to both use of new technology and the blending of existing and new technologies. The biggest challenge in the security space is going to be how you get very competitive companies working well together for a common good. Because the payment industry has a long history of collaboration, but some of these new companies coming in creating value, they don't have that tradition. I think that's going to be a major challenge.
The opportunity is that merchants have access to a very rich set of data related to each transaction. They can use that to their benefit, both from a consumer marketing point of view, but also from a fraud management perspective, which is really important.
The payments industry can do a number of things in order to balance kind of security and usability, and one of those will be developing the components for individual app developers to just drop in to facilitate easy and secure payment without having to worry about kind of the mystical, magical world of security and all that entails.
Consumer education is going to continue to be important, especially with new technologies being used in payments. And some of these technologies already presumes that the consumer is competent. And I think that's going to be key going forward to making sure people are clear about the dangers.
I think, compared to what we've learned in the desktop world in terms of security, that mobile builds on a much larger and stronger foundation. So I don't think that we will see any kind of massive disruption or any large data loss attributed to mobile devices.
I think when trying to figure out whether mobile payments will increase fraud in the CNP space, I think it's important to understand that the increase in CNP payments is really a secular trend that's not directly related to mobile. With the introduction of EMV and chip and PIN, the overall volume of CNP transactions is increasing, which lends itself to CNP fraud increasing. So I don't think it's really appropriate to say that mobile in particular will drive CNP fraud.
I think if we're honest about the amount of hacking attacks in mobile and how they're impacting kind of payment security, they're not significant at the moment. We have a solid foundation. We are seeing still a mass targeting of the desktop, but I believe that by the time that mobile becomes a significant problem, we will develop the appropriate countermeasures and detection mechanisms to be able to respond.
I think Insights this year was absolutely terrific. Everyone seems really impressed with the organisation, with the content. Everything seems seamless and effortless.